Now, based on the title of this video, you're probably wondering what the hell is going on. So, before I start with the combat today, I would like to quickly explain what's going on. So, it all started yesterday or on Thursday, I'm not really sure, when one of my friends has told me that there is a lot of players spam reporting me in the game. Now, at first, I didn't believe that, but all of a sudden, yesterday, I have seen about maybe 20 direct messages with players telling me how they have reported me and how my account will be banned soon. Now, I'm not really worried about the spam reports because my account is probably one of the cleanest accounts out there. If the developers look at the log, I'm fairly sure that there is nothing that they can ban me for, so in reality I'm not really that worried about that. Now, of course, since I personally have no idea how the report system works, there's always the chance that this becomes basically the last Abaddon video or the last revelation video. There's always a chance that I wake up tomorrow just to find out that my account has been banned for like 10 years or something. So I'm just informing you guys that that's currently going on. It's nothing new. I have been harassed like that for like 6 or 8 months now. And well, I guess salt goes a long way, and here we are. Basically, it has been escalating slowly. I thought that it would go away, but I guess not. And as I can see so far, it's getting worse and worse. And now we are at the point where they're literally actively trying to make me quit the game. They want me gone. They want me off the game. And that's really sad, to be honest, because I never wish anyone to quit the game. I usually can't enjoy the game if other players don't enjoy the game with me, so that's where we are at the moment, and was something that I did not expect. I really did not expect it to escalate this much, but yeah, I guess, like I said before, salt goes a long way, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. So I don't plan to quit. I will never quit. I already told you guys that a lot of times before. I really do enjoy the game and I love the game, so quitting for me is not an option, but I can get banned, so there is that. I guess that's one way to actually force someone to quit, so yeah. Hopefully nothing happens. Hopefully it all, just goes away, and I really hope that the report system is not as bad as I think it is, because if I get banned, and we all know how the customer support in this game, how good it is, and I mean that in a very sarcastic way. We all know how good they are, right? So if I get banned, I'm probably not getting back. Because yeah, the customer support is just like that. Now, I had players tell me that there were cases where players were banned for no reason, but I'm fairly sure that something like that can happen that easily, so we will find out, I guess. I'm just letting you know to know what's happening and what's going on. If I do get banned, and if someone out there starts to say how I deserve the ban, well, that's where you know who was orchestrating the spam reports. But yeah, all that aside, I will definitely keep you updated as to what's happening. And with that being said, I think it will be time to go back to the main part of the video, which is, of course, my favorite part, blowing up ships and having fun. Alright, now for today I have decided to go and take out the Abaddon for a spin. This is the original chunk. It all started with the Abaddon, and ever since I got the thermal implant, I always want to go back and fly all of the other armor tank battleships that I used to have, including the Balgorn, so there's a big chance that I will start flying those ships again. Now this Abaddon is a full-on brick tank. It has some really scary armor resistances with this current build, and the capacitor is surprisingly very stable as well. Now it can be even more stable if I change the general unit, but my current general unit is focused on maximum possible armor repair, so this is the build that I mostly use. However, I also like to change sometimes. A damage control is a very good choice in some cases, so you might see me fly the Abaddon with the damage control sometimes. As for the nano core, I have the Blood Raider Veteran core. I really like this core. It increases the performance of the Nosferatus, and it does make the ship look pretty scary. The Blood Raider camouflage pattern is always looking good, so that's why I like to use it. Now let me quickly show you the Hyperion. I believe it's located in this station as well. Okay, there is the Hyperion, there is the Revelation. Let me go with the Hyperion first. Now, I did kind of stop flying the Hyperion a while ago. Not because it's a bad ship, but I needed the skill points into something else. So my DPS is definitely not going to be looking pretty right now. But I have the very rare Burning Knight nanocore, and this is one of the best nanocores that I own. It's also extremely rare from a event, and it gives you extra armor repair. My old Hyperion used to be a very hard to kill ship. It used to tank like a lot of glass strikers, and they could not even dent the armor on this thing. With implants, this monster is even more tanky. However, I would have to change the rigs into my good old rigs. Now, as for the Revelation, I am slowly but surely starting to keep this ship safe, because I need the hull on this thing alive if I want to build the Chemosh. I did skill into capital industry stuff, basically manufacturing and things like that. I think even reverse engineering. So when the Chemosh does finally land, I will be using this Revelation in order to produce the Chemosh. So in order to do that, I need the Revelation alive, but from time to time I do undock the Revelation, and it is still a fantastic ship. It's still super tanky, and I still love it. One of the most successful ships that I have, and it's slowly approaching the level of success that I had with the Ortus, and the level of success that I had with my original good old Balgorn. Alright, well, that was quite a long intro. Time to have some fun with the chunks. Now the first target for today is a Maelstrom. Now the Maelstrom is a active tank Mimitar battleship, and there is the question, which one of these ships is actually going to win a fair arena style 1v1? Well, I would say that it will all depend on the build. The Abaddon has a massive capacitor. The Abaddon has surprisingly a very big capacitor, and you can make it capacitor stable without any Nosferatus. So if you're trying to fight an Abaddon, I recommend that you go with reactive armor hardeners with a good armor tank, because lasers don't do much damage on armor, and use a lot of neutralizers. So that way you can easily tank the Abaddon while slowly killing its capacitor. Of course, the fight will take a very long time, because the Abaddon is known to be very tanky, and luckily most Abaddons will not run warp core optimizers, so that's one of the ships where you can be certain that you can hold them with 1 point or 1 scrambler. Most Abaddon pilots go with capacitor rigs, me included, so that the ship lasts for as long as possible. Now there's also the trick that you can use with the cheap integration engineering rigs, which do work better than the current rigs that I have, but that might be, you know, might require a little bit more market price, market work. So I keep the current engineering rigs as they are because they still do run really well. Now this Maelstrom seems to be a little bit sleepy. Not really sure why players yeet their expensive ships like this, but yeah, it happens. It happens quite often, to be honest, so kind of funny. But this Maelstrom is into hole, slowly going down, and they are still going towards the gate, but Daredevil webs and, well, the Abaddon webs means that the ship is definitely not moving very fast, and the Abaddon has been destroyed. A very nice start for today. Now I'm a little bit worried about the build because I have seen one inertia stab, so it's going to be fun to check out the kill on this one. 2.4 billion, decent value, not bad. Autocannons. And yes, I suspected that this was a fleet build. Now this build for solo or for missions is probably not a good idea, but if you're in a big fleet, I guess this is a CTA build, and I see it work. Basically, if you have a logi or multiple logis on your site, then I guess that will work. Now the next target is a succubus. Now my alt is currently offline because I thought that there is no need for my alt to be active. With the Abaddon I can easily go and hit targets. However, this succubus decided to... not really sure what they're doing at the moment. They did move very quickly at the start, but they decided to go back, and I believe that was the fatal mistake for this succubus pilot. They should have burned out of the bubble, not decide to attack, and yeah, that costed them the ship. So if you are in a situation like this where you jump in a null-sec system, and if you encounter a camp, you have two options: burn back to the gate or burn out of the gate. Now it all depends on what ships are on the gate. If there is a good tackle, then the best choice would be to go back to the gate, but if there is a chunk on the gate, then you have basically two options. You can burn out or burn back to the gate. So that's the two options that can ensure your ship's survival. But engaging, yeah, not probably the smartest idea. Now the next target, we have one battlecruiser. My alt is currently at the other side of the gate, watching what's incoming, while the Abaddon is chilling over here, and looks like a cyclone appeared. Yeah, that's a cyclone. Okay, well, they're probably going to jump in, and they jumped in. Well, two battlecruisers, I guess. The first one has been destroyed, second one is coming in. Waiting for the battlecruiser to appear. Now with the Abaddon, I can relax and shoot at basically everything. With the Revelation I can do the same, although the Revelation pops everything, so that's a big difference. With the Abaddon I can enjoy shooting at the ships before they explode. With the Revelation I blink and they are yeeted. I did not jump with the alt because I think that there is no need for a tackle. I should be able to shoot them down before they burn out of the bubble. The cyclone is now into hole. Sometimes these battlecruisers can give you very expensive loot. Always shoot down anything that comes in your path, because you never know what type of stuff they have inside. And later in this video, when I jump in the big chunk, you will see what I'm talking about. Oh, I have some very tasty kills for you later on in this video. I just thought to start with the Abaddon a little bit because I really do miss flying this thing. Let's take a look at the first kill, 145 million. Okay, let's take a look at the next one, 108 million. Well, at least they did not mix tanks, so overall a okay cheap build. I have nothing against cheap builds as long as they actually work. However, I have a big problem with cursed hybrid tanks. They just make me feel so uncomfortable. Okay, next target, we have another battlecruiser that jumped in. Looks like with the Abaddon I will get battlecruisers today. I was really hoping that I'll get to shoot at some other big chunks, but I guess not. The Maelstrom gave me a false sense of, thinking that I'll get to shoot at a lot of battleships. Well, I guess I was wrong. A Hurricane prototype, and this Hurricane has a very interesting looking ship. Not really sure what type of skin this is. I'm not really familiar with all of the skins that we have. I know like a couple of them. I know the Tiger skin, I know the Heartbreaker skin that I have on the Macariel, and a few others, but most skins are unknown for me, so I might confuse them with a Nanocore. My apologies for that. But I guess I have to go and look up all the skins. Perhaps I'll be able to memorize them on the first try. And this Hurricane got destroyed. Now, I'm seriously debating about getting a Balgorn again, because I really miss the nasty Nosferatu performance, and I honestly really miss the Balgorn by itself, because I had so much fun with that ship before I literally got harassed into selling it, because some not so skilled players thought that they were skilled, and the good old Balgorn clapped them good, and they created a whole drama that lasts to this day basically. Now what do we have here? Now we have one suspiciously looking Vexor just chilling here on the gate. Not really sure what they're doing. They're just hanging around for a while. Perhaps there is more ships coming in. Could be a bait, so I'm just going to... Yeah, that doesn't look like a bait to me, to be honest. Okay, well, I'll just be sitting here, waiting to see what this ship decides to do. There's one more in local, not really sure where they are or what they are doing, but I always expect to get jumped. Oh, well, speaking of jumping, there goes the Vexor. And yeah, the Vexor is about to meet a chunk. I almost forgot that I had drones. I have the lasers in 2 groups. That's how I like to keep this thing. Well, let's quickly remove the Vexor from the grid. The targets that you will see later with the revelation are going to be much more serious. For some reason, when I picked up the Abaddon, every single battlecruiser and cruiser decided to go through, but when I take the revelation out, that's when the bling ships come out, which is kind of hilarious. I really hope that it would be the other way around, but I guess not. And surprisingly, this looks like a good build. Usually when I destroy a ship, a low tier ship, I don't really expect a good build, but this Vexor actually had a decent build. I would definitely replace the cannons into something else, but everything else looked pretty okay. So yeah, the pilot knew how to start the build, which is very, very nice. Now here I jumped through the gate with my ult. I think we have one Dramiel popping. I think it's a Dramiel. Was a frigate. Did look like a Dramiel, so yes, it is a Dramiel. Now the thing about the Dramiels, they're kind of difficult to catch. They're fast ships, and this Dramiel seems to be burning out. And this Dramiel also spawned quite close to the exit of the bubble, so there's a big chance that... Oh, what is this? A Bellicose. Well, as expected, the Daredevil was a little bit too fast, and I spawned too far away with the Daredevil, so I missed the Daredevil, but I managed to catch this Bellicose. Now this Nanocore looks very interesting. I think it's one of the older Nanocores, the Dark Halo Nanocore, if I'm not mistaken. We will find out very soon. The Bellicose has been webbed. The Bellicose is now into hull. The Bellicose is actually a very nice ship, I like it. It's just that the Ortus has much better missile performance, and overall the Ortus in the end does work a lot better. Of course, the Ortus is much more difficult to fly and much more expensive. And this was a tackle Bellicose, quad scramblers, and a Will of Steel core. Okay, well, was not the core that I was thinking about, but yeah, a brawl close range Bellicose. I kinda like that build. It's a build that I used, a very similar build to the build that I used on the Stratius. Basically 0 kilometer orbit with scramblers, perhaps one large Nosferatu or web, depends on target, and you should be lasting for a very long time against most targets. Well then, something jumped in. I think it's another Battlecruiser. I told you, Battlecruiser party today with Abaddon. However, you will be very surprised at the other half of the video when I start flying the big chunk. We have another Cyclone. Let's quickly go and yeet the Cyclone. They have a Nanocore. I think it's the Angel Recruit Nanocore. We will find out very soon. Surprisingly, missiles are becoming more expensive, so shooting down ships that have missiles is a good idea, because you know, if you're lucky, you can get some decent loot out of these ships. And since I am saving up for a Chemosh, I need all the ISK that's necessary. Now, it doesn't mean that I'll just buy the Chemosh in the future. I also plan to fly a lot of other ships. Mostly, I'm interested in the special cruisers, special frigates, and special battlecruisers. They will be extremely interesting, and since I am primarily a cruiser pilot, I will of course be excited for these ships. Now, this is one expensive Cyclone, but also a very cursed Cyclone, and they even had the Exile core. Don't mix the tank, use either shield or armor. In the case of the Cyclone, use a shield tank, an active shield tank, because the Cyclone has a bonus on the shield booster. It actually boosts a lot more shield than it repairs armor. Now we have another succubus, but they are using the new core, I believe, so they're easily going to be going about 10 kilometers per second. So chasing a ship like this traditionally is not going to happen. So I will resort to the other tactic, and I will basically ignore a ship that goes 10 kilometers per second, because there is no counter to it and you basically can't catch it. So I will go to the other tactic, and well, I will ignore the ship. And in most cases, when you ignore someone with this core, they think that it would be a good idea to come back and attack you. So I'll just play the hunter game, basically the patience game, and I will wait for the pilot to make a mistake. That's basically how you deal with situations when you can't catch the ship, or when a ship is just simply too fast. You just chill out, you wait, and you make your opponent feel salty that you are not giving them enough attention with your ship, and eventually they will come to you, and that's where they fall right into your trap. I have so much experience with that, to the point where I'm quite used to seeing a ship like that staying far away from you, just looking at you, and I don't mind that. I really don't mind that. I'm just waiting for them to make a mistake, and that's where I show my teeth. And so far, that tactic brought us about... I have to actually look this up because I was pretty good with the pay per kill, and it brought us about 30 billion ISK total, basically, in the last 2 months, starting from December, actually, less than 2 months, which is, a pretty good ISK amount. Now the next target is a prophecy. The prophecy got webbed. They did try to burn out, and I had to use my ult to web them down. The prophecy is a armor tank, and they seem to be using the armor command burst. Now here's the thing with the tier 8 battlecruisers. They are fantastic. They are really very good ships, and if you can use the command burst, use it, because it gives you a very good advantage. It gives you extra web range, extra scramble range. If you're using the armor command burst, it gives you extra armor tank, so very useful even if you are solo. And let's take a look at this prophecy. So an armor tank, a PvP prophecy, and they did use the armor command burst. Now I feel like this prophecy lacked in tank. However, it's a very interesting build, and I might actually test it out to see what's the resistance numbers on it. Now I crossed my fingers on this Neros because we had a lot of very juicy transport ships coming through, and it's always, well, unfortunately not today, I guess. The Neros 2 was mostly empty, but you never know until you actually destroy the ship, so always shoot down the Neros when you get the chance to. Any transport ship might carry expensive stuff. We have noticed that with one of the last kills that we had, where we blew up a beast over and that thing dropped a pass. So yeah, you never know what the transport ships can carry. And this is another cyclone. The battlecruiser day continues. I find it really hilarious how the moment I take something like the Abaddon out, everything just comes with a battlecruiser. I mean, I don't mind, honestly. I will shoot at any ship that I see, to be honest, but I kind of expected to have more battleships. But, I don't want to sound like I'm complaining. I hate to complain, so I'll be glad that I get to shoot at anything, to be honest. And that was a good kill. Now my frames dropped a little bit, but that's fine. The potato phone decided to throttle. Next target, we have one Mauler. Now, shooting at a Mauler usually means two things. It can be a good build or it can be a bad build. Now, I'm well aware that I kind of failed with my Mauler video lately, because it didn't really sound as I planned it to sound, and I will have to make another one, because when I did fit the ship, I thought that I did use cheaper rigs, but along my hold I actually used tier 4 rigs, so that's a big fail that I made, and in the end I was pissed at myself for literally not checking the rigs twice. So I'll have to redo the Mauler video that I made, because it doesn't give the message that it should give. But it's a good video to look and have a laugh at what type of ships I like to build. It's still a hilarious build, by the way. Even has the illusionary ghost nanocore, which I thought it looks good, and that's why I used it. But again, in the end, it did not sound as I wanted it to sound. So that one will have to be remade. So my apologies for the confusion. So we have a prophecy. This is definitely a skin, and this prophecy did try to repair armor. They are actually repairing the armor, but they are going down, and the prophecy has been destroyed. Okay, let me orbit the big boat with the Daredevil. Let me take a look at this battlecruiser kill. 154 million. An armor tank. Thankfully no hybrid tank. And this is a decent build. I like how this prophecy looks. Dual Nosferatu. I would definitely replace one Nosferatu with a web, but still looked pretty okay to me. Next we have one RB Interdictor. This RB is a little bit too paper for my taste. I feel like that RB might be a little bit empty in the inside. We're about to find out. Let's open up the kill. I have to admit, the Abaddon looks absolutely stunning, and yes, as expected, one empty ship. Okay, well, that's interesting. I have to admit, the Abaddon looks absolutely amazing. This is one of the best looking ships in the game. Now, our friend with the succubus has returned, and of course, I did pull away my ult because I thought that the succubus was afraid of my ult, and I thought that they might dive in and try to kill our bubble so that they enter the webs and scramblers. And when they do that, well, I would log in my Daredevil and I would drop the Daredevil on the succubus. Now, let me test that theory out. So the Daredevil jumped and the succubus is burning away. Okay, well, I guess my theory was correct. The succubus did not like my Daredevil on grid. Well, now I know what trick to use against that ship. Now I know how to catch that succubus. Tactics always win in the end. Remember that. Tactics are the most important thing in this game, and you're basically playing chess with the players. Now, remember when I said that there's going to be something very juicy and very tasty, and that the Revelation has snatched some fantastic kills? Well, this is the first one. We have one Badger. Well, we had one Badger too, now it's just a wreck. Now, on the outside, it looked like your average Badger. It looked, you know, like the average transport ship, but on the inside, oh boy, we are looking at a very, and I mean a very tasty kill. And they had lightweight offense drones. Oh my. Well, talking about jackpot, this is winning the lottery basically. That's a pretty fantastic kill. And the estimated loot on that is 5.6 billion. Like I said, that was jackpot. Excellent kill, amazing tackle, and overall excellent kill. What else to say? Now, I got intel that there is a Macarial warping in, and I notified my friend who is at work, by the way, but they will log in. When there is a faction battleship, everyone logs in just to have a piece of it. Doesn't matter if they're driving, they will park their car. If they're working, they will have to go to the bathroom suddenly. The excuses that I have seen are hilarious, and it's just pure gold, and I love my corp mates. I love all of them. So the Macarial is still on its way. It's a little bit slow for my taste. And well, speaking of being slow, there is the Macarial, landing nice and slowly. Well, it was slow for an angel ship, that's for sure. And seems like the Macarial already took some shield damage. Now I did send my ult just to be safe. Don't want the Macarial to decide that they don't want to be in the bubble, and they have been webbed. The Chonk Revelation is doing its thing. It does slap for a lot of damage. 29,000 alpha hits. The Dreadnought alpha damage is unmatched. I could easily be using the high angle weapons, but I already have the Daredevil, and the Daredevil already does a fantastic job at slowing things down so that my main turrets can actually hit. And the Macarial has been yeeted. That was a pretty satisfying kill. We'll be honest, that was a pretty satisfying Macarial. And a expensive one, 4.6 billion, a armor tank Macarial. Republic fleet drones, clear sky, nanocore, a lot of stabs. Why is this ship so expensive? Usually the average Macarial kill is 3.5 billion, 3.6 billion. Above 4 billion it can be considered expensive. Now here we have a Balgorn, and well, let's say there is a lot of scary looking apocalypse strikers on the gate that do a lot of damage, and this Balgorn did not have a very good day. That was a very quick kill, 5.7 billion, which is about a decent value for a Balgorn. The most expensive Balgorn that I've killed is 15.5 billion, was one of the best kills that I ever made. I think it actually might be the best kill that I ever made. The next target, we have an Ashimu, a small Balgorn, but still a scary ship, or should I say it used to be a scary ship. Now other faction cruisers have taken its place. And the second hit from the Revelation did destroy the Ashimu. That was a very, very good kill. Let's loot the wreck, because it's a Blood Raider ship and they usually are expensive. The Blood Raider debris are also quite expensive, so let's not put that to waste and let's loot up. The cargo hold on the Daredevil is still very small, so that's one extremely annoying factor when I have to go and undock the Daredevil. I guess with the Balgorn I can easily loot, so that's one more reason to fly the Balgorn again. 1.5 billion. Not bad, pretty good. Okay, not good. Not good at all. Why would you fit an Ashimu as a hybrid tank? Just don't do that. It just hurts to look at, honestly. Next we have another Ashimu. Well, this was a pretty good hit. The Ashimu got... They did try to go back to the gate, but the Daredevil did not let that happen. And the Ashimu got blown up. Let's take a look at the kill. 2.4 billion. Now this is a pretty good value for an Ashimu. Usually they are 1.5 billion, but this is a decent value. Now the Ashimu is not really a DPS ship, and having heat sinks is really not the way to go. Now of course I'm not saying that you cannot use the Ashimu like that. I'm pretty sure for missions it can actually be pretty good, but for PvP I would go full tank, because you already kill the tank of your target with the Nosferatu or Neutralizer. Next target we have a Phantasm. The Phantasm has been webbed. I'm not really sure what nanocore this is, but it doesn't matter, the Phantasm has been destroyed. I had to be quick, because Phantasms are usually very slippery, they can be very fast, so you really have to be very fast when you tackle them, and when you web them. You have to make sure that they are destroyed as quickly as possible, so I did not take any chances. Okay, let's take a look at the loot. Sancha debris, okay. Looked like a good build based on the loot, but I will never know until I check out the kill, so let's do that. $1.4 billion. Damage control, okay, that's interesting. Dual adaptives, a large booster, and a large Nosferatu. I kinda like this build. Reminds me on the build that I used on the Phantasm back when I was running a mission. However, I would actually use a capacitor battery instead of the damage control, because to make the capacitor last for as long as possible. Next target, we have a Cinnaball. We had a Cinnaball. The Cinnaball is now a wreck. And of course, let's take a look at the wreck. I have a feeling that this symbol was quite expensive. So let's check out the kill, because you will not know what type of ship you have killed until you check out the kill. 2.5 billion, well, this is a pretty expensive symbol. Mine costs like 800 million. And I'm very curious to see what's so expensive about this ship. And yes, looks like a integrated Cinnabon. Well, not bad. I actually kind of like this build. A combination of tank and DPS balanced build. Used to be very similar to the build that I used to run on my own Cinnabon a long time ago. And the last kill for today was a Caracal 2, which is a tier 10 cruiser. I like tier 10 cruisers, they are fantastic ships. 854 million. Very interesting. Well, a PvP build, and I kind of like how this looks. Overall, looked like a solid ship. Alright, well, with that being said, that was a pretty, I would say a pretty chill little run today with the chonks. And I'm still torn. I really want to fight the Balgorn, I really want to fight the Vindicator, I really want to fight the Ashimon. But at the same time, I don't feel like spending a lot of ISK on these ships, because I kind of need ISK for the future ships that could perhaps even be launched in the next month, because the developers have been surprising us lately with, let's say, unannounced releases. So, you know, there's a chance that they just yeet out something like that, and I have to just fly the new stuff. There's, again, I'm kind of disappointed that we did not get Yang Yung in December or in January. But again, might be famous last words. They can be like, oh, you asked for Yang Yung, well, here is Yang Yung. And if that happens, well, I'll be pissed and I'll be happy at the same time, which is a very weird combination of emotions. But with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this little chill run with the trunks. If you would like to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. It helps out a lot. And I really hope I don't get banned for no reason. So with that being said, stay safe, fly safe. I love you all, and I'll see you next time.